So, here's the badass ZF6. This thing's an 8.1 with a 6-speed stick. Super rare. I got it cheap too. Front bumper was screwed up. The hood was rusty. It had no grill. Somebody stole all that stuff because they're the HD parts that are super hard to find. They're actually harder to find than I thought they would be when it came time to find parts for a Chevy. But I picked this thing up for 4,000 bucks. The wifey found it out in Colorado after she was visiting her sister out there. And I had already bought a truck from California, had it shipped this way, and was gonna turn that in my new beast because she got fat with the kiddo on the way, so my regular cab wasn't gonna work. And I shipped in an extended cab from California. It was a 92 Z71. Looked, you know, it was identical to my old truck except it was extended cab short box. And then she was out in Colorado and saw this thing on Facebook Marketplace for 4,000 bucks. And the 8.1 ZF6 is a fucking unicorn. I mean, they're just not around. I think it was 3% of all the 8.1s were stick. And most of those were the cab and chassis ones, where it's just a regular cab and a bare frame on the back, so you can put, you know, your wherever you want for a box on it. So one of these actual trucks is super rare, and I got this one cheap because the clutch pedal felt screwy, and thought I was gonna have to put a clutch in it. The return spring is all it ended up being. So you had like this much dead pedal before the clutch actually did a damn thing, which made me think the clutch was going out. But I just took that return spring out, and now it's a piece of cake to drive this thing normal. Feels fine. Let's go over some of the interior stuff here first. I did orange LEDs on everything. They look pretty good. I put a switch in the actuator here to be able to turn the front axle on and off, which is nice because you can throw it in 4-low, flip that switch, then you're in 2-wheel drive low range, which is good for backing up trailers and stuff without having to feather the clutch. Works really good. I'll do a little video on that later. I bought these RC seat covers, which are pretty decent because I got, well, at the time I had 2 bulldogs and a wiener dog, and they stank. So these are good for that. Also put a wideband in this thing for the LS Droid tuning I was doing. That allowed me to add power enrichment and add some spark and stuff. I'll do a video on that later. This is a double din that I put in. It's just the bezel out of like an 03 to 07. There's some stuff to make that work, but that's all over YouTube. You can find that somewhere else. I did custom print the HVAC stuff so that it doesn't cut off the end over here and stuff like the other one did, because it doesn't, the 99 to 02 HVAC doesn't fit the 03 one just right until you move it around. But I printed one of those just like I did with my Beretta, and I'll probably do some more of that stuff too. I did the face of the air fuel gauge too. This is an AEM, but I used the same style basically as the stock gauges. Made it match up because I'm able about all that stuff, being a graphic designer. I put E-fans on this thing out of a 2006, I think, half-ton. So I had to make this little bracket up at the top, you can see there. Made that out of phenolic at work. It drops in the bottom of the core support the same way. I got the relay harness from ls1fans.com. There it goes, and the AC is amazing with that thing. Got the harness from LS1 Fans with stick shift right by the PCM here, which is kind of a deal breaker because the LS Droid makes you pull the PCM out to do a tune. So I changed that. I lengthened all the wires and stuck them in the back where the factory relays go and stuff on the 05s. It's a good spot for it. This had dual batteries, which is pretty sweet. I put these connections on here so I can hook up my winch leads, because I put my winch on a 2-inch hitch tube, and that way I can stick it on the front of the truck, I can stick it on the back of the truck, front of the Blazer, back of the Blazer. My trailer, I put one of those on. There really ain't one. Oh, this is an intake tube. So what I did here, I bought a 6-liter air intake, one of those cheap China jobbies, and just made it fit the stock air box, and I put an AEM filter, one of those AEM dry flows in the stock air box, and made that work. That gets rid of the silencer that was through here, because I'd rather listen to an engine than not hear it. I did these LEDs, so these are eBay headlights and turn signals. I tinted the bottoms amber and added these little DRL strips. Those things just come in a coil. You gotta put the headlights in the oven, split them apart, put those in. But that looks pretty good. And the front grille on this thing is modified. Well, I color matched all the chrome on the whole truck because I hate chrome. Chrome sucks. But another thing I did was I took this grill bar here, and this has a bar that goes across the top, and I cut that out. I cut out the regular grill mesh that was through here, cut all that stuff out, and I put this honeycomb behind it, and it gives the front end a little bit more dimension. They're like super flat stock, but you can see I've actually got some depth in there. Looks pretty good. Oh, I also spaced out the bow tie a little bit, so that's got like one washer behind the black surround, and the orange center is gold from the factory. I painted the whole thing orange and then made some decals at work to fit, measured everything out. I got this carbon fibre vinyl. I did that for the grill, the bow ties for the 2500 HD, same thing for the stickers, the Silverado, and that carbon fiber vinyl is pretty sweet, except it's got this texture which makes the vinyl on top of it not want to stick that great. So I'm gonna have to redo this one again at some point. But it looks pretty cool. Can't have a Chevy without a Z in it. So tail lights are more eBay gems, but they look pretty good. They got an LED center section for the turn signal and brake, and then the parking light. This is the heavy duty Curt Hitch. A lot better than kind of the flimsy stock one. That also got rid of the trailer connector on the stock hitch, so I got the newer style one that has the 4-pin and the 7-pin. This is a 2014 or something, I think. And you just cut a hole in the bumper to make that fit. I'll throw a picture up here, and that's a nice clean way to do it. Keeps your departure angle pretty good. I mean, when I did this, my truck was my only off-roader. Now I got that Blazer, but it still gets rid of a bunch. Oh, I hacked off the exhaust because the exhaust was super low over here. I hated the way that looked, and it sounds better bouncing off the ground anyway. So I hacked that off. That was pretty easy. The sway bar is from a like 2003 Chevy Tahoe, I think it was. My brother-in-law was scrapping one. Took the sway bar off it, made it fit. Made my own brackets out of exhaust clamps and then just some polyurethane bushings. And these are Chevy Beretta GTZ sway bar end links to make it work. And then an angle iron bracket. I saw the half-ton guys were doing some of that stuff. I figured I could probably make it work with an HD. And it barely fits with the 11.5, but it does fit and work. A buddy of mine did a how-to video on it. I showed him how I did it. He put a video together. I'll throw that up on the YouTubes. These fender liners here are from a Tahoe, that same scrap Tahoe that I used for my brother-in-law. That helps keep all the snow and salt and all that stuff out of there. So I fluid film the piss out of this thing every fall. And the idea is these fender liners will keep the water spray and stuff from washing the fluid film off. So you're better off leaving the protection there. Let's let's see. So this is a front one that I modified too. I added a piece of plastic in there because from the factory, like all through here, there's a big void that's all bare metal. So you can see, here's the edge of one where I modified it and added a piece in, and that helps keep the fluid film from getting all washed off. The wheels are stock PYOs. This thing had chrome-ish steelies on it when I bought it. Some kind of junk tires, worn out tires. I got a set of aluminum American racing wheels that were sweet. They're old school, nice 5-spoke, but I really liked them. Problem is I couldn't get them to balance, so I had to take those off, punt, do something different. So I found these PYOs that were, I got them for $100. They were corroded, nasty garbage. Cleaned them up, primed, painted. Put these Duratracks on. I had these on my other truck too, 265, 75, 16s. They are awesome. I love these tires. I had the exact same set on my old Z71. They're getting pricey these days, but they're really good. I did notice they do wear out quicker on this 3/4 ton than they did in my old 1/2 ton, but I do a lot more towing with this thing too. And it doesn't get very good gas mileage. We got to fill up a lot. We're gonna get some help doing that. I get like probably 8 miles a gallon on average. I got up to 14 once with some open road driving, but it's usually around 8. My worst tank was 5.9. That kind of hurts. And this summer is not a great summer to be daily in this thing, but it is what it is. I also got a free tonneau cover from a friend. Was doing the Gambler 500 and needed some dry storage. Oh, yeah, up at the park here. People leaving their friggin' trash all over. It drives me crazy. But they're just this little 1/4 turn deal. It's a GM one for a newer truck. And it works pretty sweet. It's not bad. I don't like the look of a tonneau, but it is kind of handy to have one to keep things dry sometimes. I gotta find a spot to put this thing in the garage so I can take it off when I'm not using it. The front hitch here was a draw tight. How good we can see that there. Hey, wait, you're noisy. When I bought it, it was super low. The hitch was like down here underneath the plastic valance, which is kind of a no-go for anything you want to do any kind of off-roading with. What I ended up doing was cutting it up, moving it. I think it was like 4 inches even that I had to move it up, and re-weld it, braced it, all that kind of stuff. I actually had to use it once going up my sister-in-law's driveway with the trailer behind me with the Blazer on it, so way more weight than anything was rated for, whether it be the winch or the hitch even, and it worked okay there. But took my measurements and got it to fit mint with just a couple little clearance cuts in there. It looks pretty good. Well, yeah, I also got this Duha thing, the storage container, which is awesome because the idea is you just flip this up, you can get to it. Worked awesome for a few months until I got this thing in here. Now I got to pull that out anytime I want to get to my straps and stuff, which is why I end up leaving some of them hanging out. I'll put a link to that in the description. That thing is really sweet if you don't have a kiddo and a car seat. The WeatherTech floor mats are pretty good. The thing said they would not fit with a floor shift, but they lied. All I had to do was trim it a little bit, put a couple holes in it for where the screws go through, and it does fit with the floor shift just fine after a little bit of work. This is a new brake controller I put in it. The one that was in it was friggin' junk. This is a Primus from Takancha, and it gives you some some features to be able to adjust it and whatnot. It's got like a no boost 1, 2, 3 setting, which gives you the control you want without being too friggin' complicated or pricey like the Prodigy, I think it is, the P3. I put a rubber mat in this thing too, which I love. Works so good. Keeps everything more protected, and it's grippy, keeps stuff from sliding. A lot better than just a regular bed liner. Thing's a good baby and dog hauler right here. It's crack, babe. Oh yeah. These Nerf bars are n-fabs that I had to fabricate some mounts. I think this had like the DZ bars on there before. I had to weld them up, so I bought them on Marketplace, and dude said they were for a Silverado. I got all the way there to buy them, and he was like, yeah, I tried to put them on my Silverado and they wouldn't fit. I don't know what they're off of. So the only thing he knew that they were not was Silverado Nerf bars, but that's what he had them listed as. But anyway, made them fit. I can do some info on those later. And the helical limited slip I didn't touch on, out of a Cummins. This is the 11.5 rear, and the helical factory limited slip out of a Cummins fits. I picked this one up for 250 bucks. I can make a video on that later too. Well, that's all I can think of for right now with this thing. I'm sure I probably missed something, but this little walkthrough is a lot quicker than the Beretta, the Camaro will be, because it's got a lot less work done to it yet. Hasn't really needed anything. The only stuff I've done to it is stuff I wanted to. Getting rid of the chrome and adding the fan and the tune and that kind of stuff, stereo. But I've had this thing 2 years now. Put, I don't know, 10, 11,000 miles on it, something like that. And I mean, mileage sucks, that's kind of a given. But it'll pull anything you want. It does an amazing job pulling, and I'm happy with it. I really was looking forward to doing that old 92 Z71 and building that up. That thing would have been sweet, no doubt. Super clean Cali truck. But when the wifey found this, it was like, I'm an idiot if I don't buy this thing, because it was a good deal. A way more capable truck. This thing's rated for like 15,600, I think, whereas the old C71 was only legal to tow like 7,000 pounds. The 4 doors are big too. The 92 didn't have that was extended cab, but it was still only a 2-door, and I didn't think that would be a big deal. But I found that even these suicide doors are kind of a pain sometimes with a kid. I can't imagine not having doors there at all. So it wasn't my original plan to replace my old beast. I'll put a link in the description to my old beast and the highlight reel for that. The thing was awesome. But it's a damn good replacement, and probably, I mean, I still don't think it looks as good as the old truck, but every other single thing about it is better, no doubt. Which is weird to drive a truck that I haven't built the engine, because or drive anything that I haven't built the engine on it. But this 8.1 doesn't really need it, and they're pricey as hell to modify with Raylar stuff. So it's going to be good as it is for a while. So I hope this video was interesting. If there's anything else you want more information on, drop a comment, and we can do another video on that later.